I am somewhat capable at soloing a Tridolon, running it with people in stream if they generally know how to run Eidolons, right? It is, of course, for some people kind of a pain to run it if you haven't ran it before, so meh. But hey, I always run public, so you never truly know. We've definitely gotten a handful of people here and there in with modamps, but luckily since
we straight gassing, cutting straight to the bricks. Flip the whole brick into an empire. Stop playing with me.
Hey guys, this is my first video. I kind of took this a little bit seriously and kind of also wanted to have a little bit of fun. Just help some people if I could. I just see a lot of dumb assholes kind of making things either insanely difficult with a convoluted build or just a joke of a video where someone just kind of leeches in Publix. So I'm just going to try and make this video short and quick and to the point. I'll go over my equipment, how I got it, as well as just general tips that are explained just so my dog could even do Eidolons at this point. So without further ado, here are my personal tips that might just help some new players. First is my build. I run a Wisp Prime with Eclipse, but any Warframe with a high ability strength and Eclipse will do the job just fine. Next is my Rubico. If you don't have a Rubico, I know the Felarts from the Zeramin works just as fine. I think it's mastery rank 14 and it can one-shot Archons almost still. It's a very good shotgun to get if you want to get it. If not, any other sniper would work just fine. Just keep in mind the Felarts may not work a little bit of the advanced tech, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. For secondary melee is personal choice for whatever will be good. Splash damage specifically is pretty good for Vomes. If you just need quick Vomes, we'll kind of go into a little bit of that later as well, but just any sort of splash weapon or laser weapon, beam weapons, anything would really be useful. And lastly is Arcanes. I run an Eternal Eradicate and an Eternal Onslaught, which are both available Arcanes from the Zeramin. So it's easy to get your hands on. All you need is just a little bit of standing and you should be able to get it. And that's really all you need, is really those two Arcanes are the most important things. Just having a good weapon and Eclipse on a Warframe. So the first step in Eidolons is to ping the spawn of where the Eidolon appears. This just helps for when you need to go back to the Eidolon and get your third Vome here for the 2 Vome charge we're going to do. So first we want to go over to this tree. And what you want to do is just go back and forth from the tree until you see the lure lock onto some nearby Vomes. Once you see them lock on, quickly just go to your lure and hack it. Then after sucking up the 2 Vomes, run to the Eidolon and break his shield. Once the shield breaks, it should spawn a Vome right underneath of him. Just wait a couple seconds. Sometimes it can take up to 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I've had as long as 30 seconds sometimes for a Vome to spawn. But it may not spawn immediately, but it will definitely spawn if you just have his shields down and just kind of let it walk around. You can then, in between screams, once you get the Vome, go and grab a lure and come back. Google image, anything like that. Usually they have a bunch I can find of all of the lure spots if you need to get into specifics, but I'm making this as simple as possible and there's usually one all around the area. So my next tip is the Instant Limb. The Instant Limb is only available if you have a 177 amp. If you don't have a 177 amp, I'm not really going to get too far into amps and how they work. There's a lot of different combinations and how they work. A lot of people have just agreed that 177 amp is very good, and there's multiple videos of a 177 amp, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. But if you have a 177 amp, you know that they have the Propa. It is the middle click button, or I don't know what it is on controller, but whichever is the explosive bullet. It has a delayed explosion. So what you want to do is you want to hit VoidStrike, then you want to hit the Propa. Once the Propa is about to explode, just line up your shot and spam your shots until the Propa explodes. Instantly knock the shields and get that limb for you. My next tip is for when VoidStrike is down. You have VoidStrike on a 30-second cooldown, 25 seconds. Be a little bit till it gets back up. You can usually get 1 cycle before your VoidStrike is fully back. So what you want to do is just spam your second ability, which is really doesn't do much other than just depleting your energy. Once your energy is depleted, that means that both your arcanes will proc, and you'll get all that crit damage and crit rate, You can just 2-3 shot the Eidolon, break its shield, and get that down with that limb. So VoidStrike should be back up by that point, and you should be good and going again. Next tip is the last limb. Once you get to the last limb, his legs will spawn about 2 to 3 Vomes before he sits down. Now it's very important to have your lures very underneath of him where he's going to fall, so you can get those Vomes before he sits down. Because once he sits down, those Vomes are going right inside of him. So you're not going to be able to get those Vomes and get a quick charge, because it's very important to have at least one charged lure after you kill the first phase. So the next step after you kill the first phase of the Eidolon is the water limbs for the second and third Eidolons. When the Eidolon spawns, there's about 4 to 5 places that it can spawn. The one space that you don't want it to spawn is the mountain spawn. The mountain spawn is very specific. If you don't have a Zenith, which is another sniper that's from a daily login, I don't think any other gun can really match its power for how fast you can get the mountain spawn location. But for all other spawns, the Rubico's fine. If you use the Fel Arcs, it's fine too. But usually the Rubico, you can get an instant down. Any other sniper would work as well. All you need to do is just get in front of the Eidolon, hit your VoidStrike, hit him in the water. Then any part, I usually go for the armpits just because they're hard to hit and he's standing still. And you can get that instant down out of the water, so he's instantly knocked on the ground. The last tip after you finish is teleporting the lures near the door. You can set up a Necromech or a K-Drive to block the door so the door opens, and quickly get on your Archwing, and you can go and get your Archwing to collect the relics, hopefully the Energize, and go right through that door without having to open for you. Saves a little bit of time, not very necessary, but you can look cool in front of your friends, so might as well try it. Usually if it's knocked down right when you get the kill, if you fly over quick enough, so you don't have to worry about it not counting. So long as the lures are there right when you got your final shot, you can go right to the door, not have to worry about your lures not capturing the Eidolon. Now maybe you kind of notice that there's something fishy, and that's to have 2 of my other friends with me at all times in these parties. These are my lure boys. You can kind of buy them off the plat market, but the important thing is to really have fun with Eidolons. Eidolons are just boring. Nobody likes it. That's why Energize is so valuable, because no one likes to be tortured by this time gating drops. All this you can do solo. I have no ill intentions of saying this is only doable in a party. I've many of times done 4 hunt Eidolon nights by myself. It's not that hard. As long as you follow the setup, it should be fine. You really shouldn't have any issues, and if you do, I'm sorry, it might be a skill issue at that point, but this is a very bare bones build. You really don't need much. You should be able to finish Eidolons, hopefully get around 3 to 4 a night. Don't be a pupsker, that's all I ask. And again, it doesn't hurt to have friends to come along and help you if you have some. And multiple VoidStrikes can always help you with your times, make it smoother and less very executable than a lot of people make it out to be. So if you have any friends, have them join. It'll be a fun time. You'll have fun, enjoyable laughs, going back and forth, shooting limbs, some funny moments.
Liberty Mutual, I hope so.
Billy May, it's June.
21 Savage. How many are there?
Oh, you messed up. Oh no.
Oh yeah. I'm mining as he's spoken.
You messed up my mining.
Busy.
Watch list.
Jehovah's Witness, what did he see?
He'll see many glitches.
Yeah, it's in the same spot too.
What the fuck is happening? Many issues.
Because a thumper doing here, bro.
It's daytime, man.
Get away!
What the fuck? So having friends to calm your sanity through it all is really the big key. Thank you all very much for listening. If this blows up, thank you very much for all the support. That's a win in my book. So thank you all for listening. Have a good night.